sharing today's content, I would like to introduce my main Dharma teacher, and his name is Khenpo Sodargye, and he is one of the spiritual leaders in Lima lineage. As a Tibetan High Lama of Lima lineage, Khenpo endorses Rhine spirit and offers teachings from a variety of Buddhist lineages to hundreds of thousands of worldwide students. Khenpo is a virtual guru and a Dogen lineage holder. He is empowered to transmit Vajrayana teachings and practices. He is also a Buddhist scholar and a teacher, a prolific translator into Chinese, and a modern Buddhist thinker renowned across Asia and West for his interest in the integration of traditional Buddhist teaching with worldwide issues and modern life. And the sharing today is from his public speech, Look Inside, Work Outside, How to Develop Inner Peace While Living in the Modern World. And he gave this speech at Harvard University. And we are going through the special time. And if we look back at the past few decades, we will realize that an incredible transformation, a significant change took place. Progress in science and innovation in education and so on resulted in the very rapid social changes impacting the life of regular people. These changes create many opportunities and challenges at the same time. One key challenge is the increasing mental fertility of today's people. There are constant fear and self-doubt. This is in effect of the rapid social change that we are going through now. The modern world is wonderful in many ways, but it is also powerfully and tragically geared to causing a high level of anxiety and a widespread low-level depression. Fast-changing pace make people exposed to constant changing role of modern society, and our mind running all over and trying to satisfy every role. All this coming together to create so-called depression as a disease of modernity. To overcome challenges and fear, you need to get out of your comfort zone. My master noted many people like to stick to repetitive routines, like going to the same restaurant, having the same dishes, meeting the same people, playing around with the same idea. But things are changing. And if you want to cultivate the ability to face challenges arising from changes, you need to get out of your comfort zone and experiment with new things and new lifestyles. Doing so will increase your mental resilience and will help you to deal with many other challenges brought about by constant change. And how to live in this world peacefully. My master advice on achieving calmness and peace in a world full of conflict is to engage more in developing inner qualities and studying our own minds. We need to pay less attention to superficial things and try to be our own master. And the secret to calm mind is the ability to control mind. Shakyamuni Buddha once said, "You are your own master." Likewise, with this kind of attitude, we need to sharpen our minds, which will gradually improve our mental strength, resulting in a calmer and more peaceful mind. And actually, we are so distracted by superficial things like mass media, the news on the internet, and so on. The whole education system in modern world is not towards inner mind, but to educate people how to compete with others, how to absorb tons of information under fast pace. And people tend to involve themselves into more complicated social network, and multitasking become very important in this world. Therefore, modern human beings easily lost focus. There are many ways to address our inner peace, increasing our understanding and improve the quality of our spiritual life, such as concentrating meditation, practice of tantra, and meditation on emptiness. There are many Buddhist approaches of how to reduce stress and to deal with challenges, And our master feels that these kinds of techniques and the study of the nature of mind will be very useful for overcoming negative emotions of fear and so on. And Buddha's teachings, including both sutra and tantras. The sutras present the basic theme of practice for gaining liberation from uncontrollable recurring programs. And beyond that, to reach the enlightened state of a Buddha with the ability to help others as much as possible. The things include methods for developing ethical self-discipline, concentrate, love, compassion, and a correct understanding of how things actually exist. The tantras present advanced practice based on the sutras. And the meaning of tantra could be the wrap of a loom, a strands of a braid. And like the streams of a wrap, the tantra practice serves as a structure for training intertwining the sutra themes to weave, of the enlightenment. And moreover, Tantra combines physical, verbal, and the mental expression of each practice, which braid together creating a holistic path of development. Because one cannot integrate and practice simultaneously all the sutra themes without previous training in each individually, and the tantra practice is extremely advanced. And one of the tantra practice could be, focus on the sound. For example, the chanting of Om to remove negative energy. And actually, why is that? Because the Om actually is an alpha wave, which is produced within the brain, right? And the wave produces a state of calm. And the Om is recognized as the basic sound of universe. Chanting it, physically tunes us into that sound and acknowledge our connection to everything in the world and the universe. Okay, so the pronunciation and vibrations have a calming effect on the body and the nerve system. And the Khenpo Sodargye also discussed the type of mentality one needs when living in the modern world, and whether it involves facing disruption in one's country, uh, dealing with up and downs in our daily life. It is crucial that we acquire the right mentality. So, what do we need, and how do we achieve it? Campbell offered 4 points of advice to calm down mind, to see through the phenomena, and to realize the true nature of it, then to accept it and let it go. And when mental affliction strikes, instead of complaining about it, trying to stay calm and to just observe what is behind it. A very famous verse in Buddhism runs, all phenomena arise from causes and that which is their sensation. Phenomena occur when cause and condition come together. When they separate, phenomena cease to exist. Understanding such profound teachers will enable us to face adversity with calm rather than distress. And let me give you the example of a rainbow. Okay, and we know when the rain, the sun and the water power all come together, and the rainbow appears, right? And but will rainbow last forever? Nobody agree, right? Because when this element disappear, rainbow also disappear. If we can accept the rainbow could disappear and sun could rise and fall every day, and why we cannot accept that social status could change and we could lose wealth, overnight, we could divorce if, the significant half change the mind, and we could also lose job and etc. Buddhism telling us the nature of all things are impermanent, right? And also emptiness. And once we deeply realize that all phenomena rise and disappear sooner or later, we will come down and have the wisdom to face adversity. Um, And also, if we ask about why we suffer, because we don't understand cause and conditions change constantly, isn't that? And people cannot accept change in the way that they don't expect to happen. For example, people don't want to become older, become ugly, right? Become getting ill. And people cannot accepting that the loved ones leaving them. But if we can find out that the cause come and go, so we know that all phenomenon will not stay forever. And sometimes we cannot change some of the things that happen in this modern society. So we experience a lot of pain. But if we cannot change the world, at least we can change our mind. We can calm our mind so as not to be overwhelmed by negative emotions, which will only worsen the situation. For example, losing a job or being rejected in a relationship generates strong emotions, and this will influence how one deal with another, situations. Instead of being abducted by our emotion, we should try to stay calm, let go of our negative thoughts, and adopt a new attitude towards the situation. There are many teachings within Buddhism that tell us how to adopt a new attitude and how to know our mind. And one of the famous quotes is, do not dwell in the past, do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. And it simply means the past is gone, the future is yet to come. But we still attach to the past and overestimate the future. But how could we live the present moment? Actually determines who we are, what we experience. Therefore, Buddhism has great teaching on meditation to help us to concentrate the mind on the present moment. If we can, develop the habit of no judgment, no bias, just feeling the present moment, this will greatly help us to remove the negative emotions, not to attach to it, not to influence by the emotions, just to watch it, feel it, and like what we said in the previous content, you will find that negative emotion rises, accumulates, stay, and disappear. And there won't be negative emotions forever. You are the creator of negativity source. And if you embrace negativities, you become negativity itself. And once you realize the nature of it is emptiness, and all the negativity disappear. Um, how do we handle suffering like illness, aging, relationship, programs, and so on? According to Buddhism, it's important to tap into our mind and discern the situation or program so that we can transfer our afflictions and the pain into wisdom and joy. Even if something cannot be changed, we can find ways to accept it. Buddhism teaches that all things are created by the mind. This doesn't repudiate what happens around us, but only that is more related to our mind than to external phenomena, right? And Buddha told us that what we think, we become, right? And the thoughts really do become things. The mind is, sometimes just runs off of fear as it's try to help you survive. That's why 70% of the thoughts that come to our mind are negative. But once we become aware of this habit, we can replace those negative thoughts of doubt, fear, or failure with positive ones. The more we can control our thoughts, the more joy and the love we will experience. And once we calm down our mind and focus on current situation, then our mind will develop the ability to deeply observe the root cause of why we suffer. Okay, and for example, and people like to play different role in our modern society. By playing it, we feel being needed, being important, and being us, right? And we put on different tag to weigh our value. And for example, like the superstar Scarlett Johansson, right? Super sexy, beautiful woman in the world, and everybody says so. And she become the superstar in different movie series. And time goes by, and eventually the new superstar arises. and she literally become, the second, leading role, right, in the movie. And it could, right? It could be, the hit if she think the way that, see, I become like less beautiful and I no longer that young, and the audience lose the interest on me, and directors no longer pay much attention to me. Okay, so I no longer become that valuable. If she thinks that way, she actually accumulates a lot of negative thoughts. And also, if she can realize, right, that our life is only a stage show, and she become different role when cause and conditions rises, and she will step into different role when elements comes together and goes away, right? And she's not owning power to control who she want to play and how long she could play and how to play. Once she will see through the phenomenon, and probably she can transform adversity into wisdom and joy. But here is only the assumption of, okay, it's not saying that she really think that way. Okay, I'm just giving the example. Okay. And actually, we should really embrace everything briefly with Wilson. Because an old saying runs, life is full of up and downs. A prosperous country could experience economic rundown, right? The same can happen to a family. Life comes with both success and difficulties, which is extremely the expression of impermanence presented in Buddhism. Then should we just let it be? No, we should face up to it briefly with Wilson, just as to the Bodhisattva in Buddhism. Bodhisattva means one with a brave heart. And this means that no matter what the situation, a Bodhisattva will not react with the distress or self-imposed isolation that often result in depression today. So it is very important that we briefly embrace everything with Wilson. Impermanence in another angle, meaning the possibilities. And nothing can stay forever. People without wisdom see difficulties as door closed, but people with wisdom embrace the possibility of opening another door in life. We all experience up and downs. Look back, we find that the moment downhill approaching us also meaning we will start to climb up. So it's nothing else. It's all about a mindset, how a mind being open, wise, and brave to embrace the possibilities in our life. Someone treat possibility as unknown fears, while others expect a new era will rise. In today's modern world, human being exposed to 10,000 more information compared to those in old times. Therefore, stay calm, stay sober, and wise is very important for us to develop inner strength, which is our mind, instead of being dragged by outside info. And last, I would share with you my master saying, things happen in our lives. If we can face them with a relaxed state of mind, we will discover that the perfect is not necessarily. So misery is not always unbearably, and what we believed hideous is not always ugly. Okay, so we always face life with a relaxed state of mind will be a key to bring us joy and happy inside. Okay, and my master Khenpo Rinpoche actually provide his teaching by following thousands of years lineage and actually like Pachu Rinpoche, Mipang Rinpoche, and the Jimmy Pancho Rinpoche, and they are all the greatest master of my master. Okay, so we also actually have an introduction of Tibetan Buddhism teaching, which is followed by another meetup teaching or sharing class. It's called the Word of My Perfect Teacher, and it's actually translated by my master. And in our current study of the preliminaries of the Great Perfection, and everyone is also required to participate in the actual practice of meditation. Mainly, what we will meditate on is based upon long-term pause preliminary practice introductions of finding comfort and ease in the nature of our mind. Okay, That will be for all for today's sharing. And thank you so much for your time to attend our sharing. And hopefully you find those sharing will bring the peace to your mind and also help you to find another door in life and how to trade the difficulties and adversities in today's modern world, which I really help find helpful in my daily life practice. Thank you so much, and we will see you next Saturday.